reporting remote. Thanks for joining. Be sure to click that bell so you can get notified when new content comes out. This is YouTube exclusive content, and I'm Nathan, and you may have found me on one of the other socials, and these are the essential things I'm telling you right now that every man should know by the age of 35. And if you don't, well, we'll start there. Be gentle with yourself. And also, all of this content and everything that we talk about, musician and funeral related, I am bringing on a couple of handfuls of you for my 12-month Mastermind course. The link in the description to apply. Now, if you're thin-skinned and you're easily offended and upset by what people are going to say, because they will throw rocks at progression, because this profession is lacking in progress in the sense of moving the needle. It's always been done this way. If you want to do it differently and learn about processes and experiences and how to integrate social media and CRMs and technology and all the things, then click that application. We're taking 35 of you, 12-month course, the Mastermind course. All right, get a pen and paper. Here we go. Self-discovery. Like, by the age of 35, you should have a clear understanding of who you are. And sometimes who you are changes, not necessarily the belief system or your character as a whole, but I've changed recently. You know, whenever your life is placed in this box and the box is shaken up really, really crazily, and then you got to put all these pieces back together, then you can kind of redefine yourself and figure out which pieces you do want to put back together, but you kind of have to know who you are in the first place. So it's kind of the cart before the horse, or the egg before the chicken, and so forth. Self-discovery is very important. If you're not discovering who you are and like have an idea by 35, you should probably get going on that. That is the root of forever growing, forever progressing, and moving the needle that we call life. Well, the needle is you. Self-discovery for sure. Financial responsibility. Let's be honest. Any 35-year-old man who has no financial discipline, you either have made your spouse, significant other, super angry consistently, or you will never attract one. Financial discipline is paramount. There is no better time in this country, in this world, than what we are in with AI and all of the opportunities here online for you to make money, but also to save money, to invest money. Yes, you could say that our economy is down and interest rates are high and this and that, and make excuses. But at the end of the day, being financially disciplined and storing money away and having it work for you is critical. You have to know what is coming in and what's going out, especially if you all guys are going to be in business, in the profession of any kind where you want to achieve leadership. You got to know where your pennies and nickels and dimes are. And I have to be honest, I've had systems put into place, and then we've refined them, and I wouldn't always necessarily know, but it's important for you to know and to have that idea. Take classes. There's free courses right here on YouTube. Just YouTube, how to be financially disciplined. I know a lot of people, the amount of people who don't even have $1,000 in their checking account. It's absurd. It really is. Healthy relationships, I would say that's pretty important. And we've all been victim of being in a bad position, in a bad relationship, friendship, situationship, relationship, and you have to make the decisions to either progress or move someone into another area. My point is, that's nicely saying, like, if they're not on board, then they need to get off the bus, and vice versa, right? I mean, you are who you are. Going back to, there are things about you that will not change. Like, I'm just an outgoing person. I'm not going to not be outgoing. That's just in me. It's a part of who I am. Now, I can choose to not be outgoing for a moment, but overall, I'm outgoing. That's my point. People are who they are, and you need to be accepted for who you are, and you need to be accepting of others for who they are. Relationships are critical. You don't have to have a lot of them. You know, as we get older, they kind of fizzle out, and then you see just one, two, a few. Relationships are important. Relationship to self, and then relationships with others. And you can be very choosy with picking. I would encourage that, actually. I really would. Work-life balance, it's not a balance. There's work and there's life. Work is a part of life. It's not a balance. So understand that. You go to work, you devote X amount of time to work, and then you need to be disciplined in balancing when you're going to put your phone down and when you're going to be present with people or not. I mean, again, this is the pot calling the kettle black. Putting my phone down and being very focused is sometimes hard, especially being in the influencer world now and a musician and creator. My job happens on the phone. My job happens in email, and I need to be more present. And by 35, you need to have an understanding of, okay, my time is this. I have a terrible sense of time and calendars, so I know I'm not good at that. So I have to put into place the appropriate things so that I can balance things accordingly. And sometimes you won't, but then there's this whole element of being gentle with yourself. Yay. This is like the proverbial cycle of all these things that all intertwine, and yeah, good luck. About 35, you should have a sense of health and wellness. Mental health has been a taboo topic for the longest of times, and now it's at the forefront. It's being discussed and talked about. And as someone who is a advocate for discussing mental health, as someone who has struggled with mental illness and depression, it's important to know where you stand with that and then to set up accordingly. There is Talkspace, there's BetterHelp, there is a local therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist who can really assist you in your mental health journey. You need to be disciplined with that. And then the wellness aspect would be, of course, healthy eating, healthy lifestyles, of course, walking, running, cycling, doing things that exert energy instead of sitting at a desk all day long. You have to have exercise. I mean, it's science. I'm not a doctor. I don't have to be a doctor to tell you, if you're not moving, if you're not getting vitamin D, then you're not living your best and most healthy life. And about 35, you have a really tough way to go. Not impossible. So don't think for a second that you can't start now, but it's going to be harder, but you got to start being healthy. It's very important. Never stop learning, ever. The funeral profession, for the longest time, we've always done it this way. And by the way, I referenced it before. If you are interested in progressing your funeral home, your work as a funeral director and professional, click the link in the bio. There is a Mastermind application, only taking a couple of handfuls. We are going to do a 12-month deep dive Mastermind course. It is going to include sales and all of the things that involve growing of a business. I almost went to the next thing to know by 35. It is going to learn about all of our processes, tech, CRMs, brain fart. We're going to learn all the processes, tech, CRM, social media, how to put yourself out there in a progressive manner, what experiences to offer, hospitality, how to speak, words matter, pre-need, products, all of that. That, my friends, is the Mastermind. Link is in the bio. And continuous learning is a part of our life's journey. By 35, you should not be set in your ways. You should always be a sponge and wanting to learn and just be present and listen to people. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to have an opinion. That's the caveat to that. Don't have an opinion. You don't have to. You can listen to someone and say, oh, thanks. Thanks for sharing. That's it. It's best to just listen, but never stop learning. When you feel you know enough, you either A, are closed-minded, or B, aren't around smart enough people. You need to be around smarter people than you, always leveling up. And then resiliency, being resilient, I was going to talk about while trying to talk about the Mastermind. I got confused. Being resilient, very important. You are going to hit wall after wall. You're going to have people. Someone just emailed me a couple of days ago, and they're like, as I emailed on August 17th, I'm not interested. And I hope that this email serves as a reminder to not follow up. This conversation is over. Okay. Now, if I weren't resilient, if I were to allow myself to be sad and to be affected by that, then it could really affect the next few days and how, if I was being productive or not. By 35, you should have a little bit of understanding of being thick-skinned and being able to take criticism and being able to take no and being able to be shut down and not be shut down and just continue to push and be respectful and kind as you move the needle. Be resilient. And I think this is kind of most important, really. Be a genuine contributor to society. Being kind. Being intentional with your community members, the coworkers, the people you interact with and engage with and just walk beside. They're human beings, and we all long for community. We all long to feel just acknowledged, accepted, loved, supported. That is super important. By 35, you should be willing to contribute to your community, to your job, to your faith community, to your family, to your extended family. You get the idea. Giving of yourself is very important because life is not about me. It's about we. It's not about you. It's about Drew. It is. Life is about others and putting others before self, and your relationships will grow because of that. Your community will be better. People say, oh, I won't make a difference. Yes, you do. You make a difference showing up and being kind and committed to those you're showing up for. So I encourage that. Those are, I believe I just did 8. Those are 8 lessons that you 35-year-old men should know. And if you are not proficient, then you should probably start. You're never going to be distinguished at all of them or at all, really. That's perfection is what I would consider. You're not, always be learning, always be in the season of being a student. I'm 35 plus 3. That means 38. And I feel like I'm just now alive. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad that you met me here on this here at YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to click that bell to stay up to date and consider applying for that Mastermind course. Unless you're thin-skinned, then don't do it because you'd be wasting your time.